I'm going to talk today about visual comparison and validation of pages using PhantomCss.
Hello everyone. I'm Shridhar and
Hello, I'm Vishnu. So thank you, Diana, for the introduction. So as Diana mentioned, we both work here at ThoughtWorks, right? We are working on a project, and for that we are working on a website, a multinational, multi-local website. Each of the each page of this website is built of different modules, and every module can be used on across the pages. So practically, we have around a few thousand pages for this website. So, and 2 months ago, we had a unique requirement. We are going to go live in Middle East countries, so we need to support Arabic as well, which is basically right to left, right? So we need to be able to support the entire website for right to left, not just text, but the layout as well. So obviously we need to make a lot of changes in our CSS and HTML, right? And we made a lot of changes in the common CSS. That's when we realized one thing. Breaking CSS is very easy and testing it is really hard. So we noticed that whenever we made changes for right to left, something or the other was breaking in left to right. And we needed to figure out a way to automate the testing process, because going through 1,000 pages is not an easy job, right? You can't do visual regression testing every time. And we do a release every 3 weeks.
so there are two ways of testing your CSS. First is with the help of Jasmine. What you can do, you can assert some of the computed slides of your elements, but that gets tricky after some time, after some events and some interaction that just do with your elements. And the maintenance of these states are really tricky, and you have to figure out each value of for each breakpoints and then assert on them. The other way of doing it is to take a screenshot and visually compare those screenshots to figure out if there is any difference. So we found this PhantomCss tool, which gives you a way to automate your visual testing. What it does, it takes a screenshot of your page and compares that screenshot with your baseline images, which you might have taken earlier. And then it does a pixel by pixel difference and creates a failure image if there is any failure, and highlights the sections of image which are actually changed, and so that you can figure out this portion has been changed and we shouldn't have. So how PhantomCss works, it mainly uses a PhantomJS, which is a headless browser, which uses to open the page in that browser. And using PhantomJS, what you can do, you can navigate through your pages, do some JavaScript actions, click user actions, and then after some time you can take a screenshot. And it uses the resemble.js to do an image comparison. It does an image comparison. So here is a simple example. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between these two buttons? No? It's just one. Yeah. So actual difference in these two is there is small spacing which has been increased from padding from 19 pixel to 20 pixel. So 1 pixel, actually 2 pixel difference in the width of your button, and it's very hard for human being to identify that. So with the help of PhantomCss, what you can do, you can take this screenshot and compare, and it will highlight the part which has been changed. The width is changed, and also the text position is changed by 1 pixel. Yeah. So for the
Right. So setting up this tool is really simple. There is just very few minor steps. This is based on Mac OS, but similarly you can do it on Linux as well. So PhantomJS is based on Node, so you can simply run npm install PhantomJS and it will install your PhantomJS in this browser. Casper.js is available as a package, so you can use Homebrew or apt-get package and install that as well. And you can clone the PhantomCss Git repository, right? After that, you can just start adding your tests. So before we go to the demo, I would like to show you the code structure. So this is what the PhantomCss official repo looks like. There is a testsuite.js where there is some initial setup done. Let me increase the font size.
Is it visible?
Give me one second. How about now? Right. So if you can see now, initially it just requires the PhantomCss from the directory PhantomCss.js, and then you begin the Casper.js module. Right. You begin the test, and then there are some settings that you can do. Initialize the PhantomCss itself. Where there are many options given, we don't use all the options, but you can go through the repo and figure out all the options that you have. We give it the Casper instance that we want to use. We can also give it some threshold, basically how much difference should it tolerate and how much after a certain limit it should tell that it has failed, and some callbacks as well. Right? You can go through this later. And in the PhantomCss repo, you'll also find a demo test where they do certain things like do some logging and start the Casper.js module, go to a particular URL, and then basically start capturing images. Okay. Now, if you go by this repo, to add a test, it will be similar like Jasmine. You keep adding one test after another in this way. But what we have done is we have tweaked it a little. We have made it configurable basically. So this is what we have done. I'll show you the test.js. Right. So like the official repo, we have similar settings at the beginning. But what we do is we read the test data from a JSON file, which is test.config.json. Over here, you can do some global settings like the subdomain, the port number, and the wait time, the viewports as well. And then you can keep adding tests as a JSON object. So
the one advantage this config.json gives you is to avoid the boilerplate for the each test. So what we do in each test, you hit a page, you wait for some time, you do some actions, and then take a screenshot. So these are a couple of repeated steps in each test. So what we did, we configure the test in the as a config.json, and then read that config and run through the.
Right. So over here we read all the configs over here from this test config.json and use that to drive our PhantomCss tests. There are many helper methods given by Casper which you can use to do that. Yeah, and here is how you capture the screenshot. Okay. Simply PhantomCss.screenshot and give it what dimensions do you want to capture. Right, so that's about the code. Now we'll dive into the demos. First, so we can use this tool to capture layout related issues. In my sales pitch, I talked about a particular blog, right? So let me quickly show you that blog. Right, so this is the blog, right? Now, so to run the test suite, all you have to do is Casper.js test and the test suite file. When I run this, what it's going to do is it's going to capture a base image. If you're running the test for the first time, it will always capture a base image and store it as a benchmark. So whatever you saw on the screen on the blog post, That will be my benchmark. Any run after this, it will compare the second image with this particular base image and tell you the difference. Right. So let's take a look at the base image. So here is the base image which had captured the entire page. Okay. Now I'm going to make a few changes, very minor changes in the blog post. I'm going to make a typo. Okay. And I'll run the test it again. So the way it works is it will capture the second image and then generate a third image. Resemble.js will generate a third image which will show you the difference. The one that we saw in the button example as well. Will highlight the difference in some color. Right? So here it is. It says that something failed. We don't know what yet. So let's take a look. Now all these directories are also configurable. Okay, we can configure where our base images should be stored and where the difference and where the failures. The failure directory is going to be located over here. You can monitor the failure directory, and out of all your tests, if anything fails, you will have a failure image over here. If you don't have any image over here, that means all your tests have passed. So here is a difference image. I had changed the color, the font, and somewhere there is a typo which I don't know yet. And I will take a look at the difference image now, the failure image. Right. So it tells me that there was a color difference. Over here in the right corner, the about label was also different because I had changed the font size of that as well. And somewhere over here there was a typo, so it told me that this is the line where the typo was made. Right. So these were the differences in this particular example.
So if you see, as there is a screenshot comparison text, so it's very easy to. So these tests are very easy to break them, right? You make a small change somewhere and some alignments are missing. Even if those are purposeful changes, it will break the test. What you can do, the main help this test does is, so let's say if you are changing a button style, and that should change only the button style and not your page navigation or your footer. So if the test is just failing for the button comparison, then that's okay. You made a right changes, and then you can recapture the base image and store it for your future. Again.
In our case, whenever we made a change in RTL, something in the layout broke an LGR. So this was really helpful to capture those failures. Second type of test is selector based. Now, for us, we had a very long page. It was a marketing website, right? So it had many modules on a single page. Now, I don't want to test everything. Like maybe in this case, I don't want to test the entire text. I just want to test the layout. So how do I do that? I want to test only a part of the page. So let's try and do that. So first let me show you what I'm going to do in the demo. So this is a very long page with many images on it, right? And I'm going to try and capture only one image, which is this one. Thumbs up. Okay. So let's see if I can do that.
Maybe dynamic, and there's only one thing which is static. Maybe your footer or header or some component on your page. That's a static. It's never gonna change for a long time. So you can use on those pages. You can use selector-based testing. You can select a particular element and then assert it.
Yeah. So if you can see this particular test, I am giving it a CSS selector, basically the selector of the element that I want to capture. Just a point about this test JSON file. We have made this structure for our needs. You can modify it and enhance as much as you want for your use cases. Right, so I'm going to go to this particular URL, wait for 10 milliseconds, and then capture the thumbs up image. Let's try and do that. We'll talk about why there is a wait time in a few minutes. Let's make it and see when it captures the base image.
It might take some time as it is bigger.
Right. So there you go. It captured the image successfully, right? So in this way, you can just give it a selector, give a selector, and capture only one particular area of the page and monitor that. There might be some critical area of the website that you want to test. So this is good. Is there a question?
Can you please explain what are types of test data you use in this software?
Sure. So the test data is basically just a simple URL where you give the URL of a page which you want to capture, right? And right. So this is the model name which is used for the file name itself. If you notice the file name, it is selector based and then the version of that test, right? So selector based is coming from the model name. That's a relative URL which is related to this particular subdomain code. And there is a default wait time. So, okay, now that there's a question, I'll talk about the wait time. Because the page is long, you don't want to capture the image right there itself immediately because you want the images to load. There might be some libraries that you are loading, and the page load takes some time. So, wait time helps to ensure that all the images on the page are loaded, and then you capture the screenshot. And in this case, we have the CSS selector, which is the selector for the area that we want to capture.
Yeah, and notice this part as well, the viewport section, so that you can configure for different viewports. In one text, you can test it on mobile, desktop, and as many as viewport you want, you can configure it there and run your test.
Yeah, so a little bit more about the viewport. Right now, we are capturing only for 1024 by 1200 pixel screen size. You can configure it as Shridhar mentioned over here itself. Just keep adding more viewports, and it should capture all the screenshots for each of those viewports. So you can do responsive web testing as well. Right. So going back to the slides, we have action-based tests. So let's take a look at the page that I use for the test. Now I have this simple page where I want to, before I take the screenshot, I want to open this drop down so that I know that what is there in the drop down, right? We want to test that as well. So let's see how to do that. Now while I am setting it up, Casper.js supports many events like mouse down, click, mouse over, and all these. And it's very simple to set it up. Just Casper.mouse event and the event and the selector. Okay. Okay. So over here, the way I have set it up, set the test data is again the relative URL is there. We have a small wait time, and I say action based true. I want to perform the action before capturing the screenshot. I tell which action. Right now, I just want to do a click and then capture. Click on what? So there is an action selector. So I'm saying go to the drop down and say, click on that. And this is the CSS selector. So CSS selector is because I don't want to take the entire page. I just want to capture that orange box that you saw. Only inside perform the action. This might be for real-case scenario. If you're testing a header, then you can say okay, only inside the header. Open this drop down and capture the image. I don't want the entire page. Okay, so let me get the previous ones. That was fast. There we go. So it opened the drop down and then captured the screenshot, right? Now let me also make a few changes over here and see how the failure looks like. And just reorder the item of the drop down. There's one failure. There. So it clearly tells you that the order there's something wrong in the list. You can figure out what's wrong with this.
So action-based test you can use for many scenarios. You might have the model on your page to show something, some details, or you might have some functionality or something like filtering out some products or filtering out sorting something, some items on your page. You can click on the particular filter or selector, and it will does the JavaScript runs in the background, and after some time it will take a screenshot.
Also, as I mentioned, that we wanted to make adding tests very easy because we don't want to keep writing code. We just want to add one test, right? So how this works right now is I can take all these, just add a JSON node. So now I have 3 tests, and let's see if it can run all the 3 in one shot. So for a QA, typically you would want to add a particular test in your visual regression, right? So it becomes really easy just with the URL, give the CSS selector, give the action selector, and it will capture all your screenshots and tell you which one is different. So while it captures this, let's talk about the best practices that PhantomCss suggests that we should use.
So best practices would be one thing would be name your tests correctly. So it uses those names to create the file, and based on the file names you can easily identify which test fit instead of looking into the log. As here we are running 2 or 3 tests, it's easy to find out which test fit. But if you have many tests, you can just go to the failure directory and look at the file names and which test you can. Another would be run your both runs on the same browser and same OS, because it becomes their browser's way of rendering something. Like it might be font rendering, might be handling some CSS styles, maybe different in a different way. There might be small pixel difference. If you run your base images on Mac OS and if you are running your second time on Windows, it might fail even if it's correct. So you should run both runs on your same OS. Next would be add a test only when you need it, so as I said, it's very easy to break them. So whenever you see there's a need, then only add it instead of you end up maintaining them.
Basically, whenever a page is stable and you know, okay, now I just need to see that if something is different today, then I need to fix it. But whenever a page is stable, you can add a visual regression test. If you add it at the initial stages, you'll have to keep updating the base image many times. So you have to be careful and take a pragmatical when to add this.
And also don't always go for a full page screenshot because in full page screenshot there might be a couple of items which are repeated on all pages, maybe header, footer, and a couple of other items. It takes a time to take a screenshot of that whole page and compare them. So you can just whenever possible, you can just go and use this selector-based tests.
And also, once a particular test fails, if you have a long page, then for a QA it becomes difficult to go through the entire screenshot and figure out what failed. It's much easier to just say, okay, this part failed directly. So try and take smaller sections of pages for the test. Okay, let's get back to our test suite. So it has captured 3 images. Let's take a look at all of those. So this is the action base, this is the selector base, and this is the entire page. It's that simple. So when not to use this? As I said, right at the start of the project, when the pages keep changing, it's not stable yet. It's a good idea to wait and wait for the website to be stable and then add the test. On a small project with very few pages. So if you have only 2 pages or a single page app, you have to set it up. There is an infrastructure cost. So you might want to decide whether it is valuable to your project or not. And when you have a better tool to do your job. There are a few tools other than PhantomCss which you can use. There is one there's a service, PhantomCss, similar to PhantomCss, a service which can do this for you, but it is paid. This is free and open source. Great. So a few advanced features, right? So we talked about long pages where many libraries load and you can't really. So you have to add a certain wait time to capture screenshots. Now in our case, we had a scenario where we wanted to capture 10,000 screenshots, 10,000 pages across all the locales. Now if we add a wait time of even 5 seconds. Imagine 10,000 into 5 seconds. How long will we have to wait to go and see those images? So we wanted to make it a bit more deterministic. How to do that? Let's take a look at that. So Casper.js supports 2 callbacks. One is resource requested and one is resource received. So on resource requested, you can, so this is how you set it up. Casper.options and on resource requested and give it a callback. It takes the request data that is going on the network and the Casper instance itself. Okay. So and the second callback is on resource received. It will tell you Casper instance and the response data that has come back. So using these 2 callbacks, what we managed to do was monitor all the requests that are going on the network, and then store it in an array and monitor that array. So whenever a resource came back, we got rid of one of the elements from the array. So at the end, when your array is empty, you know that all your requests have got the response and you can capture the screenshot. Now there is one small catch over here. Typically in a browser, not all requests go at a time. Right? So if there are 50 requests, there might be a situation where after about 10 requests, all the responses have come back, but the next request has not gone out. So the condition that you are trying to test before the screenshot, that will be met beforehand, and you will not be able to capture the right screenshot. So there comes the wait time as well. You add a certain wait time before the screenshot, so that within that wait time, the browser is able to send further requests on the network. So that ensures that almost all the requests have gone on, and then you can monitor the response and capture the screenshot. Make sense? And the second is parallel execution using multi-threading. So on our project, we had a Scala wizard who helped us doing this. We used SBT to run multiple threads and capture multiple pages at a time. So for 10,000 images, if we had used the network monitoring and wait time, it would still have taken at least 10 hours to capture the screenshots. But with parallel execution, we got it down to a few hours, and that really helped. Again, there is one more minor detail that we need to take care of. In parallel execution, there is a bottleneck, which is mainly the network bandwidth, because now we're trying to load, let's say, 10 pages at a time. So the images for all the 10 pages won't come fast, right? You have a bottleneck where there is a network. So you have to be very careful to decide how many threads you want to run in parallel and how much should your wait time be. So we managed to do it with 8 threads and 5 seconds of wait time, and we got the time for capturing 10,000 images to just a few hours, like 5 hours, and we get all the images.
So one advantage of wait time would be if you see these two images are not fully loaded. So you need to configure your wait time very carefully and then decide it. So if you are loading images as an image tag as a source, it's okay. It will load and browser PhantomCss will wait for you to load the compare complete page, and it listens for the window.load event on your browser. Uh, and after that it will take a screenshot. But if you are loading images as a background for some element, then you might face an issue. So while deciding your wait time, you need to be careful.
So that's about it on the demo in the talk today. Here are a few references and resources. This is the modified version that we have using the test config. And there are more tools and wrappers around PhantomCss. One of these tools gives you very nice reporting of all the tests that are failed. PhantomCss by default also supports integration with CI. So if you have a build tool, it supports integration with that. So you might want to read about that. So that's about it. If you have any questions, Mr. Narang.
Can we use this tool for dynamic websites? For example, there is one website which is having flash gallery where images are changing frequently. So can we use this tool to test such websites?
As it's a screenshot bit, it's better for go with the static content because as your content is a dynamic, it may change frequently and your test might fail even if the change was intended. So you have to maintain that whenever you change content, you have to change your test as well. And
Having said that, it is still possible to do that. You can use Casper.js itself. You first enter a particular form, for example, content, do some events, and then go to the next URL and then capture the screenshot. So there are many events. It's just like Jasmine where you might be able to do that. Right? So all those features are still available over there. You can explore and use some event.
Second question is, as you said that you tested site which is having 1,000 pages. So how much time it takes to complete your test?
So if we use multi-threading and configure the wait time and the threads, we were able to do it in less than 10 hours for iOS case. And it also depends on your machine as well. So if you have a very powerful machine, you might be able to run multiple threads. And eventually the network bandwidth will be recovered.
So my question is regarding PhantomJS. So we have been using that, but while rendering charts, we face a lot of printing problems. So did you face similar problems while testing?
Not really.
yeah, so one interesting problem that we faced was around the font icons that we load. So PhantomJS was not able to render the fonts here. We were able to see. We were seeing these placeholder fonts, which is the boxes. And so to overcome that, what we figured out there's one check or npm package that you need to install, and then it starts working. I think it's around web font.
Basically, it's about the font file that you're using, the font type as well. If you're using WoW or TTF. So PhantomJS supports TTF effectively. So you can capture the font icons as well.
I have a question. You just mentioned that if there is a infrastructure cost, so what do you mean by that? What are the needs and what is the cost of it?
So to run that, you need a dedicated server where you can run it, right? And as I mentioned, if you want to capture multiple screenshots, you need to have a powerful machine because you might want to save time as well. Plus, it will capture screenshot and store it on your desk somewhere. So you might want to upload them to S3 or somewhere else. So there are those smaller costs that you might have to use it.
Does it support text-based application?
No, it runs on PhantomCss web browser, so I don't think.
What about mobile-based application?
No, so it doesn't support native, but as I showed you, the viewport size can be changed, so it can run on a responsive website. So you can set up the viewport and any website can be used. Time check counts. We can take more questions.
So this is about the integration of that PhantomCss with the Selenium. So can we Selenium? So does it support the Selenium running with the Phantom? And if it does, then what is the benefit of it? Means decrease the time to run or something because it is right. So it runs in the background.
Even PhantomCss actually runs in the background. It's headless. So I'm not sure how much benefit will you get, and frankly, we haven't tried it with Selenium yet. So, yeah.
Hi, Kriti and I'm from GS. So I have this question. I missed the initial slide. Did you also say you use PhantomCss to test lifestyle rights? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So of late we switched to a newer version of style guide. So by visual regression, we meant that we'll be testing the style guide instead of testing the web page. So my question is, do you have a quick snippet of how style guides can be tested using PhantomCss, or is it somewhat similar to what we've demoed right now?
Yeah, so it's basically you just give a URL of a style guide and it will capture that screenshot, use it as a base image, change your style guide, capture the second image and compare. So it's all, yeah, it's quite similar. You just have to give a URL and it will capture that page.
Okay, so my question is how quickly you run your test and how what steps you have been taking to manage your benchmark, because 10,000 images is a huge pain.
So frankly, it's still in early stages. As I said, we got this requirement 2 months ago. Started developing, and recently we've been able to release to we still haven't done it for all the 10,000 images on the server. It takes a long time. But on our local machine, it runs faster because we have a good machine and the network is pretty awesome. So, yeah, I don't know if you can give you numbers right now, but we can run it in maybe once in the iteration, basically 3 weeks. So before the release, we can run the test, and the stakeholders can actually go through the release and figure out whether they want to go into the release or not.
Or can we have dynamic websites? Suppose we are working on some bandwidth specific application, suddenly bandwidth is less. So since web time is fixed, so it may not capture some images and it may can be given. Is there anything like
So all those are still available. There are many methods in Casper which you can use to monitor the elements itself, whether the element is loaded or not. Apart from that, we also talked about what if there is a background image on the last one, where you can't really monitor whether that background image is loaded. For that, we figured out there are 2 callbacks: resource requested and resource received, which actually monitors the request call on the network and gives you the response as well from the network. So you can monitor that and combine it with wait time. Wait time is minimal, which is used to ensure all the requests are done. Combine that and you will be able to deterministically capture the entire page. we were able to do that successfully for a page which was 70,000 pixels long. So it really worked well for us.
I have heard a couple of other tools used for visual regression. One is Sikuli and something called Appli-Tool-Sai. So as far as I know, Appli-Tool-Sai is a paid tool, but as far as robustness is concerned, would you compare this with Appli-Tools?
Sorry, but we haven't used Appli-Tools, so I can't really compare it with that. But I've seen Appli-Tools. I haven't worked with it, but I've seen the website. It does seem an awesome service. I'm not sure if it is free or something. So if it works well for your website,
sorry, for the interest of time, we'll take one last question. And there is these two t-shirts, both are t-shirts that we are giving out. And I'll leave it to the speakers, whoever they think ask interesting questions or if their mind boggle, they can give it away. Yeah?
So, can we do again check mobile automation as well? Because just wanted to check if you can do mobile optimization checking as well.
what do you mean?
Suppose a web page is in mobile optimized, and suppose it is not. Can you check that as well?
Yes, so with the viewport size, you can check whether it will look the right way. So you can set up the viewport height and width before taking the snapshot. So using that, you can do that.
No, for example, I have thousands of pages. Yeah. So out of which 5 of them are not mobile optimized. How do you identify that? Because I don't know which of them are not optimized or which of them are optimized.
So you might need to do a small customization here. So what we did, we configure the viewport size at global level. You can move them down to your test level, or keep it for global level and override them at your particular test level, and then test it there. It's a small optimization you do, small customization, and you get it.
Let me quickly show you where you can do that. So in each of these tests, you can add this viewport size particular to that test. You can modify some code and run the test only for that viewport. So as I mentioned in the talk, that this particular test JSON is configured by us for our needs. You can modify that and write some code in test.js where it actually runs, and make it enhanced for your use cases.
Thank you.
I didn't understand the pixel standard. Yeah.
So I want to compare each page with
So if you want all the pages to be 320 by 640, then you can do it at the global level. You can set up a viewport of that size and it will capture the screenshots for that viewport. I guess we don't have time for more questions.
Sorry, time out. Just in interest of time. Shridhar and Vishnu will be around, so you can always catch all of them, ask any question that you want, get answers for. So thank you Shridhar, thank you Vishnu for this wonderful talk and introducing us to a wonderful